without eating, and then having a... What's up guys? Today I'm going to teach you guys about intermittent fasting, what it's all about, and give you a few tips on how you can lose weight using this method. Something that I use, something that I live by, so stay tuned for more. So, what is intermittent fasting? Basically, intermittent fasting is going a certain period without eating, fasting, then having a certain window, certain number of hours where you can have your meals for the day. So there's three types of intermittent fasting methods. There's the one which is ADF, alternative day fast. 1 to 2 days of the week you get to fast for 24 hours. So that's the whole day you get to fast, and then the next day you get to eat. The second one is the warrior intermittent fasting, where you fast for 20 hours and then 4 hours you get to eat. The one which I follow is the 16-8. So you're fasting for 16 hours, and then after 16 hours you have an 8-hour window to fit in all your calories. For the pros, the benefit of this is convenience. Let's say you're someone who works and you have a 9 to 5. You're not a personal trainer, you're not a bodybuilder, so you don't have all the time in the world to eat your meals. You're busy in the office, you have a family, you have kids, etc. You wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is take a shower, get into your car, drive straight to work because you don't want to be late. You're in traffic, get to the office, books piled up, you have so much work to do. By the time it's 2 p.m., you haven't eaten your meal, which is fine. Now from that 2 p.m., you have a window. You have a window, an 8-hour window starting from 2 p.m. where you can now eat all your meals until, let's say, 8. Yeah? So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, actually till 9. So you have an 8-hour window where you can fit in all your meals. Not everyone's going to be able to eat 6 meals or 7 meals the same way you see in magazines, where people say, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger used to eat 8 meals. Bull fucking shit. You were not Arnold Schwarzenegger. You were just an ordinary person who's trying to get into shape. So why are you comparing yourself to people who have all the time in the world? So, convenience. Benefit number 2, it stops you from snacking. Imagine if you're having 7, 8 meals. So you're having 8 meals in a day. These meals are not going to be big meals. They're going to be like 200 to 300 calories each. Now, 200 to 300 calories is not a lot. So when you're having, let's say, 200 calories of a meal, that's like a snack. You've just tasted it. You basically just tasted it. So when you go off and start doing your normal routine, whatever it is you're going to do, you're now thinking about, damn, that food was so good, I just tasted it, I need more of it. You know, you're thinking about eating more of that food rather than feeling satisfied and, you know, you're full, you don't need any more, right? So picture it like this now. When you're fasting, you're allowed to have bigger meals. So you fasted all the way from morning all the way till 2. Now at 2, you can have, let's say, 1,000 calorie worth of meals, or 1,500 calories. After you eat 1,500 calories, you're not going to be hungry for a while. It's going to take you maybe from that 2 to 30 all the way down to probably 6 or 7 when you want to eat another meal, because you've had enough calories to sustain you for a longer period of time. Step 3, adapting to hunger hormones. So what this means is, when you are always hungry, you always have this feeling of hunger because you're eating smaller meals, you're teasing your body, you're eating smaller meals, you're having hunger pangs much quicker. But if you learn to fast, if you learn to hold out for a certain period of time, let's say you start off, you don't have to start off with the 16 hours that they claim. You can do 4 hours to begin with. you go up to 5 hours, 6 hours, 8, 9, 10, all the way until you're comfortable doing 16, because to begin with, it's not going to be that easy. But at the end of it, once you reach the 16 hours, you're going to find that you get hungrier less. You'll find going all the way to 16 hours way easier than you'd ever think. So that's another benefit of it. Benefit number 4, you focus on the task at hand. This is basically to do with convenience. The same thing. You don't have time to eat those 6 meals that people claim you need to eat. 6, 7, 8 meals. You're more focusing now. When you go to work, you're not busy thinking about, oh, I have to eat after the next 2 hours. In the next 2 hours, I have to have another meal. In another 2 hours, I have to have another meal. What meal am I on? Am I meal 3? Am I meal 4? You don't have to start thinking about food. And the more you think about food, the more it becomes eating disorder, because you're constantly thinking about food. But with this intermittent fasting, you're not thinking about food, because you don't have meal timings. You just know when you feel hungry, most likely it's going to be 16 hours will be over, right? And you'll have that window to have all your meals. Even within that window, you're not thinking after every 2 hours I'm going to have a meal. No, you can have 2 meals within that window. You can have 1 meal within that window. So you're more able to focus on the task at hand. For example, your work, you can go to work and now focus on work rather than focusing on eating and when your next meal is, on all these other things. You can now invest your time in things which are more important rather than just food. And the 5th one, improves your insulin sensitivity. Now, for this one, this is more scientific, so I'm going to leave a link in the description where it takes you and explains this in full depth. So we've listed the pros, and with everything there's always cons. The first con, getting started. Getting started is the hardest thing you can ever do, because to begin with, you're not used to having to go such long hours. Well, 16 hours is a long time. 16 hours without feeding, which is a long time. But keep in mind, the 16 hours, your sleep is also counted within that 16 hours. So when you're sleeping, if you sleep 8 hours, that 8 hours counts. It's not 16 hours of you having woken up, it's 16 hours including your sleep. But it's still hard to start on that 16 hours. So for starters, I suggest you do, after you wake up, you fast for maybe another 2 hours or 3 hours. Keep increasing it until you can do another 8 hours of waking up. Social gathering. That's the con for number 2. Social gatherings become hard, because if someone invites you for lunch or for breakfast, you're gonna be like, I can't because I'm kind of fasting. But that's for hardcore intermittent fasting people. You don't have to do it every day. You can do it every day, which will give you better results. But if you're going for a social gathering with people and you have your friends around and someone has invited you for something, you can put that aside for that day. It's not gonna hurt your progress. Just put it aside for that day. Have your meal, still hit your calories, still hit your macros, and you'll be fine. Intermittent fasting con number 3. You will notice a decrease in a few things. First thing you'll notice a decrease in is your mood. Your mood is going to change because you're going to be going for hours without eating. So you're more likely to be cranky, moody, a bit tired. Now your performance also might change in the gym because you're not used to it, so your performance might dip. And also that ties in with your strength. Your strength is also going to dip as well. Also with some of these cons, they tend to go away after a while, like the decrease in strength. Once you start getting used to fasting for longer, it starts getting easier and easier and easier, and your strength does come back slightly. But obviously because you're on low calories, your strength is not going to come shooting all the way up. Lastly, con number 4, it's very difficult when you're trying to add weight. So intermittent fasting, I really suggest it for people who are trying to lean out. If you are low on calories, use intermittent fasting, because it allows you to have more meals in more calories in one meal, which in return makes you diet for longer and feel sane while you're dieting, rather than having small meals throughout the day and you feel like you require more meals for you to feel fuller, right? But when you're bulking, I wouldn't suggest doing intermittent fasting. There's no need to do intermittent fasting because you have a shitload of calories and you need to fit it in within a day. I mean, if you're on 4,000 calories, there's no way you're gonna feel 4,000 calories in 8 hours. There's no way you're gonna do that. So you require your whole day to fit in all your macros, which is fine. But when you're cutting, when your calories are really, really low, when you are like just this close to reaching your goal, but you can't find that courage to push on, intermittent fasting is the way to go. One thing which I have to say about intermittent fasting, it is not a diet. You still have to hit your macros, you still have to hit your calories, you still have to hit your fibers and all these other things, your micronutrients. You still have to track those things. You can't just expect to jump on this and start fasting and then after 16 hours you eat whatever you want to eat. You will still gain weight. This is just a tool. It is not the key. It's just a tool. And with that said, I hope this will help someone out there. Give me feedback in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about it. If there's anyone out there who fasts as well, let me know. Give me your feedback on how fasting has helped you or how it's not helped you. Keep in mind, it's not for everyone. Not everyone likes fasting. Some people like smaller meals. But if you're someone who requires bigger meals, then be my guest, try it out. Hopefully I've helped you out. That is intermittent fasting in a nutshell. I'm glad to do such videos for you guys, and let me know what else you guys want to hear about. And with that said, I will see you guys on the next one.